welcome back to the Comical Ball. I am your host, Bryant Cook, and today we're playing the ever so popular Walls deck in Pauper. This deck has been growing in popularity over the last month or so. It's risen to the, as I record, the sixth most popular deck in the format, according to MTG Goldfish. A really cool thing about this deck list in front of you tonight, it's 16 tickets. That's incredibly cheap. Honestly, it's really 15, and you can even get it much, much cheaper. I'll go over that in just a second. So, but before we get to that, a friendly reminder. In the month of December, if you sign up to become a member of this channel, which you can do so by clicking the join button down below, you get access to all videos early. It doesn't matter if you're the $5 tier or the $50 tier, you get them early by clicking that join button. But also, if you do that, you're giving me a Christmas present because I'm only 7 members away as I record this video from unlocking our next emote slot. With YouTube, you have to hit benchmarks to unlock more emote slots. I'm 7 away. So I've been dying to get a Rograk Son of Rogat emote since I play Rogsai in CEDH. Please, I'd love to hit it this month. It would really mean a lot to me. So for $5 a month, you get to treat yourself to early videos, but also give me what I want. It wouldn't be that bad, right? But anyway, we're playing Walls tonight. So as I mentioned, 16 tickets, really 15-ish, but 15 is some change, but I rounded up. Anyway, so 4 tickets of it was Crimson Acolyte. A card, I bought this entire deck, by the way, for $4 and like 80 something cents through Card Hoarder, who's a sponsor of this channel. So love Card Hoarder, you should always use them. In fact, if you want to buy this deck for $4 and some change, or whatever it ends up being for you, because you might not own some of the cards like I did, but the description or the link to buy this entire deck and support this channel is in the pinned comment down below. So you can buy it from Card Hoarder for Magic Online play, or you can buy it from TCG Player. We have links for both. According to the Goldfish deck list that I clicked on, this deck was, like, as I record this, like $28 in paper, but only 16 tickets, whatever. But 4 of it was Crimson Acolyte, which is kind of crazy to me because this card is not very good, but we're playing it because it does protect our Axebane Guardians. And then another like 4 or 5 tickets if it was a single copy of Reaping the Graves. So you remove those 2 and the deck isn't much money. I happen to own Reaping the Graves from playing Cycle Storm. But before we delve too deep into stuff that you may not understand, let's explain how this deck works. It's called Walls. We use Defender creatures. So we have Secret Door, a brand new card from, I say brand new, but it came out this year, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. It's a 1-mana 0/4 Defender, so it's really good in this red metagame at blocking. And it gives you an infinite mana dump by allowing you to venture into the dungeon multiple times. Really click intensive on Magic Online, but in paper you can announce an infinite mana loop and then say I'll venture in the dungeon 100,000 times and whatever. But you can't do that online. So we have 1 Secret Door. So that's a defender. We have Saruli Caretaker. I probably butchered that. I don't know how to talk. Come on, forgive me already. But it's a 0/3 creature for 1 mana. You can tap it another creature, add a mana of any color. Overgrown Battlement, one of the first important pieces to this Walls deck. It originally came out in Rise of Eldrazi. It taps for a green for each defender you control. That is why the Arachi Leafcaller is here to convert that green mana into blue mana. We have Wall Roots, a classic wall, another pretty good defender. And then the card that really makes this deck tick down here, the Axebane Guardian. So it taps for X mana of any color, where X is equal to the number of walls you control, but also, or number of defenders you control, not necessarily walls, but defenders. So as you may notice, Axebane Guardian itself is not a wall, it's just a defender. But so you can make red, black, and blue mana, green mana all at once with Axebane Guardian. You can choose it. Basically, it's variable. You don't have to pick one color. And then with Dominar United, we got Shield Wall Sentinel, so now you can tutor, which is really nice. So you can go get that 1 mana Secret Door is infinite mana dump. There's a lot of really cool things about this deck. For example, Drift of Phantasms is one of the best tutors in the deck. It itself is a flying defending creature. Once again, not actually a wall, but you transmute it. And then if depending on how much mana you have, you can then transmute it again for another copy of Drift of Phantasms. From there, you get Reaping the Graves, and now you can return both Drift of Phantasms, and you can then tutor again for another card. So that way you're creating card advantage via this Reaping the Graves. But how the deck makes infinite mana, right? Now 5 minutes into this video and I haven't actually said it. Freed from the Real. So it's a 3-mana aura enchantment. You can untap a creature. So you want to put this on Axebane Guardian or the Overgrown Battlement. But if you put it on Battlement, you will need an Arachi Leafcaller. And then from there, you make at least 2 mana. You untap it for 1, so at least 2, and you can go infinite. From there, you use Valakut Invoker, the Secret Door. You can use Vivian's Grizzly. You can go Tutor. There's a lot of payoffs in this deck, but basically you deal your opponent a lot of damage. On Magic Online, this is actually quite click intensive, and there's a good chance you could possibly time out if you're not fast enough. So I'll do my best tonight, but it is the nature of the beast. We're playing it on a program where you can get punished. You sort of just have to accept that. And one of the cool things, in my opinion, is that with Gorilla Shaman and a deck that makes a boatload of mana, is you can just start annihilating Affinity. So I'm a pretty big fan of this. But that's my deck tech. I hope you enjoyed it. And a really cool thing is that actually, this is not my deck list. I pulled it off Goldfish, as I mentioned. APAS72 is the user who I stole their deck list. I know them from playing a lot of Twiddlestorm over the last year in Pauper. They also play it, but they're the world's expert of this format, and they were nice enough to give me a sideboard guide. So thank you to APAS72. And tonight I will be using their deck list and their sideboard guide. So we'll actually know what we're doing for once, or so I hope. But that's going to be nice. So thank you to them. I really do appreciate their support. Yeah, so I've been rambling on for 6.5 minutes now. I imagine that you want to watch some Magic the Gathering. I would love to play some Magic the Gathering, so I'll see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Let's play some Wall Combo. I'm really excited. This deck is so sweet. I played it in some practice queues, probably a handful of matches, and I really enjoyed playing it. So let's see what we can get done here. This hand is actually kind of bananas, but we only have 1 land, unfortunately. So you could keep this and be a crazy person, but I'm going to instead leverage the London Mulligan. We don't have any payoffs. We do have a Battlement and a Leafcaller. I think I'm just going to pray to get lucky here. Let's ditch the Sower. Okay. We just need to draw a payoff and this hand goes bananas. Alright, Caretaker passed the turn. Bryant Cook playing Basic Forest. How crazy. I own at least 30 of each of the invasion basics that I play. I think they're just beautiful lands. Okay, we draw a Mnemonic Wall. We'll play the Battlement. We will then make a green mana. Play a Leafcaller, pass the turn. So we are facing a deck that plays 4 Snuff Out in it, if they are in fact the Dimir Terror deck, and there you see 1 Snuff Out. So you have to worry about Snuff Out on when you're attempting to play Freed from the Real. I don't know what I'm going to name this video yet, but part of me wants to do Real Big Fish after Freed from the Real. We'll see. I also really I Want to Write You a Wall song. I don't know why, but that one strikes me as funny, but it's probably not. All right, Overgrown Battlement. Let's get in there with the Leafcaller. Hiya. 2 mana into Augur of Boros. They tap their Black Source, which is pretty interesting. They pick up a Thought Scour. Can I draw a payoff? It'd be nice. Nope. Play an Axebane Guardian. Okay, we'll pass the turn. They scour themselves, hitting 2 pretty good cards. But they're really dangerously close to 1 mana 5/5s, right? So, in fact, this might be enough. I believe it is. Yeah, they have 5 instants or sorceries in the graveyard. So they could play Tolarian Terror into Gurmag here, for example. I believe it's 5 and not 6, but I don't have it in front of me. I'm sure we'll see one soon. A Mental Note and a Double Deep Analysis. Wow, what a hit. And there's the Terror, so it is 6 and a blue. Wow, that was insane. Double Deep Analysis off Mental Note. And there's the Gurmag Angler. Absolutely wild. They have 4 in hand. Draw step. That's a good one. Lead the Stampede. Spell Pierce. We will tap the Overgrown Battlement, and we will pay. So we have a green floating, lead the Stampede. This is good. Okay. So let's make another green. Play a Wall of Roots. Make another green. Let's tap these, I guess. Okay, let's play another Wall of Roots. Minus, we'll play Aquarian Ranger. And we will untap the Axebane Guardian. Replay. Transmute the Drift of Phantasms. We'll go get freed from the reel. Everybody's doing the fish. Yeah. Alright. I made a real big fish reference. I'll probably stop at this point. Transmute freed from the reel. Oh no, this isn't transmuting. My bad. What am I talking about here? I need to quit talking and just try to win. Alright, untap. Tap. Alright, we have a bunch of mana. Let's play a Mnemonic Wall. Get back to lead the Stampede. Yes. Untap. Okay. Tap. I guess with the leaf color in play, I should just always be doing green. Lead the Stampede. We had another Drift of Phantasms, and that will be the battle, or the ball game. Alright, transmute this. We'll go get the Valakut Invoker. Make a red. Play the Invoker. So our opponent can see that they're dead now. Okay, and they do the right thing and concede. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so let's switch this back over to card view. That is what I prefer. Let's check the sideboard guide from APAS. Blue Black Terror. It says the board out a Wall of Roots or a Pulse of Marasa. I don't know if I would have came to that conclusion on my own. In fact, I know that I wouldn't. But it's interesting to see here. Click submit. I'm sure you could also do like some sort of like YouTube video name with like Pink Floyd's The Wall. It's just like kind of boring. A lot of cards. I just don't think this is that good though. I'm going to mulligan. That I've kept, maybe. Put Valakut Invoker on the bottom. I actually don't like this card in the deck. I think that this should probably be cut. I've played a handful of games now. And like the idea is that you can drift a Phantasm for Rift Sower to make blue mana on your combo turn. I've yet to have that be relevant, but I have thought this card in my hand has been stinky multiple times. Suspend, pass the turn. Our opponent's second turn, they tap the Ice Tunnel for a blue and cast Brainstorm. Legacy vibes. Basic Island into Mental Note. Getting rid of a Gurmag, that's interesting. Will auto yield to the Rift Sower ability. Draw. Did not hit that land I needed. Play the Sentinel and pass the turn. Another Brainstorm. One blue for a Thought Scour. Getting rid of a Rotted Reunion. Okay. Interesting to see that they're just like willing to dump a bunch of Gurmag Anglers. We have 7 in hand. We will cast this elf. Draw. We hit land 2. I guess one thing I should do here is let's make a blue mana. Play Secret Door. Are you going to snuff out my Sentinel in response? They do. That's wild. Okay. I am very good with that outcome. 1 blue. So now they can play a Tolarian Terror if they so choose. There it is. 1 blue open. Tap for a black. Gurmag Angler. 5 cards in hand. We draw another Drift of Phantasms. Unfortunate. Play an Axebane Guardian. Hope that they don't have another snuff out. We will take 10 going to 10 life. Land number 3 and they're passing. These draws have just been so clunky. Lead the Stampede. Yep. I mean, I did keep like kind of a risky hand, but I sort of thought that I would draw out of it, and instead we just like drew mono 3 drops the entire game. I have to block here. All right, we're at 5. They have 4 cards in it. Painter's Edict. Yeah, we're going to be going to game number 3 in just a moment. Okay. Let's try that again. Let's click submit. Game number 3. This is a solid hand. We'll keep. Boros into the Caretaker. Pass the turn. The Aquafire, sure thing. Okay. Hope that our Battlement lives. They play an island. 1 blue mana. What are you going to cast? 2 mana. Long pause here. They decide to cast down my Battlement. Sure. Take a draw. We can't cast anything. We have to pass. Unfortunate. Yikes. They still have 5 in hand. Take a draw. Winding Way. We'll see. I'm supposed to say land? We only played 12 lands in the deck. There's a chance I could just whiff. I'm going to say creature. No way. Oh, I can't win. Pass the turn. Oh, we missed. Complete 0. Three force and another Winding Way. I can't believe it. Oh, jeez. Wow. I'm sorry, A-Pass. I'm not good enough to play your deck, apparently. I'm sorry. I need to, like, be one with the deck or something. I do feel like a number of my draws have been super clunky, unfortunately. Like, I just can't cast any spells. Yeah, you have 5 lands in Tolarian Terror. What am I going to do here? Sure, play Gurmag 2. It will be fine. You got it. While they're holding open counterspell. Overgrown Battlement. Pass the turn. Alright, we can pick it up from here. It is not possible for me to win this match. Okay, so we are 0-1 to start this, but stick around. I'm sure we're going to do better. We got to do the thing in game number 1, but unfortunately a little bit of variance in these post-board games. It happens. We're going to win out. I can feel it in my bones. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Let's see if we can do better this time. We're on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand. It seems very reasonable to me. Utopia Sprawl. So it looks like we are facing the Panza land destruction archetype. We'll play a Leaf Caller. I have to imagine that deck is actually pretty good against us if they can stop us from reaching 2 mana. Whoa. Not the Panza deck. I guess it's Bogles. I should have looked at what color they announced. They announced green. Typically, the Panza deck is red. So we're facing this. We'll play a Wall of Roots into the Caretaker. Pass the turn. One nice thing about the Bogles matchup is they really can't interact with our creatures. Armadillo Cloak. That's a 7/7 trampler, though, so we're taking 13 here. I'm not going to block. Well, I will block the 1/1. Sure thing. So that happened. Reaping the Graves. Winding Way. We'll say creature. We had 4 this time. Funny how that works. Okay, so we'll play a land. Make a green. Remove a counter. Axebane Guardian. So we're set up to win next turn, but we have to make it there. Our opponent looking for lethal. Commune with Spirits. Cartouche of Solidarity was found off that. Ethereal Armor, that's 13 damage, so I'm forced to block. Cartouche, that's 16. Oh no, they have it. I have to double block here or else I'm dead. They're too fast. Alright, so I'm dead. So you might be saying, Bryant, you can block and live. There's no way for me to win the game. That's the problem. So I might as well just take it and go to the next one. That was a really fast start by them. So this says we take out 1 Leaf Caller, 2 Shield Sentinel. Mnemonic Wall. Lead the Stampede and a Rift Sower. Okay, a little bit weird. 3 to Glamour. That would make sense. 2 Moments Peace and a Ray of Revelation. All of those things make sense against Bogles. So I guess my concern with this deck, I mean, I've played a handful of practice league games and now this league. I feel like sometimes you end up with just super clunky draws. And I feel like the curve got a lot higher with recent sets due to the shield creature. And there's a couple of creatures in the deck that I just don't think should be here. Like, I don't like the suspend creature. I'm a little skeptical of the Vivian's, whatever it's called. But the thing about the Vivian's creature is it does give you an infinite mana outlet at 3 for Drift of Phantasm. But in general, I just feel like the curve is kind of high and it needs to be lowered. I would like more things to do on turns 1 and 2. And this isn't a knock at APAS, by the way. This is just like my experiences playing the deck. It is a really small sample size, so I could be incorrect. I am not an expert at this deck, but this has just been sort of my observation so far. And actually, why do you need an infinite mana outlet at 3 when you have the Invoker at 3? So that's another slot that could be cut. Like Vivian's Grizzly and the Flamewind Invoker are sort of the same thing. I guess you could argue that Grizzly you can use with only green mana, but how often is that an issue? Like, because you either have infinite mana via Free from the Real, or you have a leaf color to use with the Battlement. I just don't buy it. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's like Walls experts right now that are like furious watching this video. There's always room for improvement with your decks. Like, it's just like kind of a true thing about Magic. I don't know if I was actually supposed to play the Caretaker here. I feel like next turn when I cast one of these, I'll want more mana available, and that's why I chose to play them this way. Well, Abundant Growth, okay. Take a draw, Ray of Revelation. Interesting. Oh, Winding Way first. Let's do Creature. We had 4. Love that. Let's remove a counter. Make a white. Well, Ray of Revelation, the Utopia Sprawl. Pass the turn. Abundant Growth, sure thing. League Cover Scout. And it looks like they're just passing the turn back. Take a draw. Axebane Guardian, that is in fact what I wanted for Christmas. Thank you. Or for a Rograk emote. They honestly, they both would have been fine, but Axebane pretty good. We'll remove another counter here. You might be saying, Bryant, you're just wasting the Wall of Roots counters. Maybe that could be true. I want to represent blockers. Even when you look at our current hand, we are glutted on 3 mana cards. Like, there's just so many of them in this deck. Not that I would cut any of these in particular. I do think you want 4 Drift of Phantasm, 4 Lead the Stampede, and the Flamewood Invoker. Those all seem like non-cuttables to me. But I think there's some of those other cards at a high mana value that I think we could part with. Great, and they're passing. Lovely. I believe we just get to win now. All right, let's make a bunch of blue mana. Transmute. Go get the Freed from the Real. Play it. And we need to make another blue. So I could have tapped this a little bit better, admittedly. Untap. Okay, so let's make a whole bunch of mana. Let's untap again. I think this time I'm going to make a red and see if they'll concede to my lethal on board. Play another Overgrown Battlement. Tap. Looks like they're not going to concede. So let's cast some more cards. Ooh, only a drift in that. Untap. Untap. Make more mana. 23 is a lot of life. Let's Revelation their cloak because I can. If they're going to waste my time, I'm going to at least enjoy myself. Okay. Let's transmute again. Get a Rumble Fort. Let's make a red. Play the Rumble Fort. Transmute. Get a Reaping the Graves. Transmute. Get a Axebane Guardian, I guess. Tap for mana. Tap for mana. Okay. So by playing out more creatures, I know that it takes a few more seconds, and I don't know if there's an obvious answer here, but it just makes your creatures tap for more in the long run. So you'll have to do less, just like untap, untap, retap, all that garbage. Because honestly, I feel like just the tapping part's kind of boring, and I like to live with a little bit of spice in my life, and sometimes you get to do that by casting spells in between. Reaping the Graves, use up all this black mana. Return my 4 Drift to Phantasm. Okay, untap. I might have accidentally untapped twice there, it's fine. Just 1 mana. Shoot you. Let's start trying to win this game. Shoot you. Shoot you. Shoot you again. Keep it going. Looks like I'm going to need some more mana here. Let's transmute. We can go grab another Axebane Guardian. Okay. Play it. Tap it for mana. Untap. Retap it. Make 10 more mana or 9 more mana, whatever it is. Shoot you. There's a more efficient way. Like if I was really low on time, I probably wouldn't be casting creatures in between. But I don't know. I need to keep myself entertained here. Okay, so that will be lethal, and we're off to game number 3. Yeah, like I don't think you need the Rift Sower in the deck. Like that's definitely a card that if I was building my own deck list, this would not be in here. Like I would get rid of this card so fast. I would be interested in a second Tuk Tuk Rumblefort though. That is a card that I think when you have this card, your deck performs so much better. So I'd be interested in having 2. Wall of Roots is fine. I don't mind that one because I do think defender count matters a lot, and I like that it accelerates you into your 3 mana cards on turn 3. So that's really nice. But I'd probably get rid of the Vivian's Grizzly. I probably wouldn't play the main deck Pulse of Marasa. I mean, you have the Mnemonic Wall, and then you have Reaping the Graves. So I think that's sort of just like enough. You don't necessarily need Pulse of Marasa. Like, there's just like a lot of utility in the deck, and I think some of that could be cut for more ramp creatures and like stuff that just makes the main part of your deck work well. A common trap for deck builders in Magic is trying to have an answer to every situation or answer to everything. And you'll find that when you quit trying to be everything, your natural win percentage will increase. Because realistically, you're not going to beat everything or these weird corner cases, so just don't try. This gives me 2 mana on turn 2. Let's try it and get rid of the second Quirion Ranger. Basic Forest. Slippery Bogle. This hand's definitely sketchy. We find land 2. Quirion Ranger. Pass. They cycle in Ash Barrens. It's definitely the kind of play we want to see, because even if they play an armor here, it's 2 damage. So it's not their fastest start. I mean, we're not in a great spot, but it could be worse. I guess that's what I'm so I could play the Caretaker here. A little bit slow. I'm at a Winding Way. Creature. We find 1 creature. Lovely. Hiya. Land number 3. That's a Cloak. We're taking 5 down to 13. Draw. Play Caretaker. Attack. So they'll go to 23, and now we can untap and replay the Forest. I'm not going to keep up Moment Piece here. I'm going to Winding Way. Creature. Pass the turn. 3 mana. Alright, so next turn I have to start holding open Moment Piece. They're at 33 life. So I could play an Axebane Guardian here, but I don't think I'm allowed to hold open Moment Piece. So basically, I would tap these 2, untap. No, I think I can. So let's tap this for a green. Play the Axebane Guardian. And now I untap the Caretaker in a Forest. Replay the Forest, and now I can cast Moment's Peace. Okay. They tap for 2. Ledgewalker, that's fine. Another Bogle. And I don't care that they didn't tap their creature. It doesn't make a difference to me. Draw for turn. So the Axebane Guardian taps for 2, and this was the best draw that we could possibly have had. We just won the game. Play the Caretaker, Quirion Ranger. Tap for 3. Read from the reel. Make a blue. Untap. Okay. Tap. Tap again. Let's play a Rumble Fort. Tap. Now this taps for 4. Untap. Cancel. Cancel. Make a green. Play another Axebane Guardian. Green. Blue. Transmute. Valakut Invoker. We have 12 minutes to win the game. 12 minutes to deal 33 damage. So our opponent is under no obligation to concede. I would like to point that out. But they are just wasting both of our time, but they're allowed to do so. Okay. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. I'm going to quit narrating this at this point, and I'll be back in a few minutes after I've made enough mana. Alright, so I've made 92 mana at this point. I believe that I can hold control and... Oh, isn't... Maybe... I thought that use the auto select on colors. I guess I'm going to be forced to... Or is it W? No. I'm pretty sure it's Q, but Q is also zoom. There's a button that you can click where it auto selects mana to pay for costs, but I just don't know what it is. So we're going to click 88 times on our mana symbol and kill our opponent. Our opponent doesn't value their time. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I too can be pretty petty. Although there's 0% chance that I time out with 9 minutes left, so they could probably concede, but some people also have like that Reed Duke mentality of like never concede no matter what, even though it's not that practical. Okay, we have 4 more activations here. Only Storm 6, a little disappointed by that. I mean, this is supposed to be the Epic Storm. Our Storm counts need to be higher. We do have a Storm card in our deck, though, for what it's worth. And with this, we get our first match win, so we're now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round 3, we're on the draw. I don't know if you're supposed to keep this. This hand is really clunky. So you do have turn 1 suspend, turn 2 leaf caller into secret door, turn 3 this comes off suspend. But you don't actually, I guess you do have triple blue into drift. I think we'll keep it. I don't know if I'm actually supposed to. Affinity. Another leaf caller. We'll suspend the Rift Sower. Pass the turn. Mistvault Bridge. Sower, suspend. Draw for turn. Battlement. I'm not going to play out the Battlement because I want our opponent to use the removal on creatures I don't care about. Play Secret Door. Pass, pass, pass. Land number 3. They now have Metalcraft, worth pointing out. They play Thoughtcast. Sure thing. Passing the turn, Rift Sower comes off suspend. Yes, I would like to cast it. Thank you. Turn 3, we're getting our turn 1 mana dork. Love it. Okay, so... This Battlement only makes 2 mana. Let's do Winding Way. Creature. Green. Aquarian Ranger. Untap. Return the Forest. Will you Galvanic Blast a... They're killing the secret door creature. Wow. Okay. I am very good with that exchange. Overgrown Battlement. Pass the turn. Ugh, get in there. Our opponent plays Vault of Whispers into Galvanic Blast, killing our Overgrown Battlement. Not very nice. Alright, so we have land number 3. We'll convert into blue. Drift of Phantasms. Go grab an Axebane Guardian. Green. Leaf Caller. We'll get in. Hiya. It does seem like really, like, I know that I sound like a broken record, but the Tuk Tuk Rumble, whatever it is, the 3-mana red, it's like Tuk Tuk Rumble Fort. I feel like every draw that you actually have that card is so much better than when you don't. So it really blows my mind that this deck only plays one. Play an Axebane Guardian. Metallic Rebuke. I cannot pay for that. I was not considering Metallic Rebuke. I guess if I was expecting this, which is my own fault, admittedly, I could have tapped this, untapped it, and then replayed a Forest, but I just didn't see that as a card. My own fault. That's too late. I'm in Declared Dagger. I'm missing out on a damage here. And we'll pass the turn. They play a Deadly Dispute. We will not block. We'll go to 16. The Gixian Infiltrator. This card is really sweet. I like it a lot. Overgrown Battlement. Not a bad one. We'll play that. And then blue, green, untap, return, replay, tap, make a blue, transmute. We'll go get freed from the reel. Just pass the turn. Opponent has 4 cards in hand after their draw step. It's a lot of lands. I feel like it's sort of free to throw a blocker in front of this Infiltrator. Block with the Rift Sower. So they Deadly Dispute, sacrificing a treasure. Now they're going to Deadly Dispute again. Sure thing. They have 4 cards in hand and another treasure on the table. They play the Artificer, which can turn their land into a 3/3 indestructible. Might have wanted to Deadly Dispute pre-combat then, unless you thought you were going to get me on combat tricks. You missed out on 3 in the air. Munitions. I think we got it. Convert to blue. Read from the reel. Convert 1 to a blue. Untap. It's technically infinite mana, just really slow. Okay, untap. We have to pay a blue. Tap. Untap. This is so slow. Okay. Untap. So I can return Winding Way with the Mnemonic Wall. That's the game plan here. Let's play the wall. Okay, we're returning Mnemonic Wall. Yes. Make a blue. We will untap. And now our creature makes 3 mana. Tap. Winding Way. Creature. Our secret door is in the graveyard. I don't know what this actually gets anymore. A Mnemonic Wall for Reaping the Graves is already gone. We might be in some trouble here. It can get a Drift of Phantasms. Okay, it gets Drift of Phantasms for Flamewood Invoker. Let's play the Shield Wall. Triggers. Yes, I would like to search. We'll grab a Drift. Untap. Right side is now it makes 4 mana. Transmute. We'll go grab the Invoker. Just make a bunch of blue. Untap. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to the point where I just mute for a little bit until I can make enough mana to win. Alright, maybe they'll concede if I actually play the Flamewood Invoker, so let's do that. They do not. Okay. They're at 14. Deal you 3. Deal you 3. So it looks like that chip damage I did ends up being decent. Deal you 3. Now they're at 5. Deal you 3. Tap. Retap. Untap. Retap. And that's enough to finish off our opponent. Take that, Affinity. And that's game number 1. It took about 10 minutes, not too bad. So I have to imagine that we're bringing in the Gorilla Shamans. Probably the Deglammers too. Let's check that handy dandy sideboard guide. Wants us to board and Pulse Marasa. That's interesting. And the Crimson Acolyte. Okay. We're boarding out 1 Leaf Caller, 1 Shield Wall, 1 Wall, or both Wall of Roots. So let's do that. Okay. 1 Sentinel. One lead the stampede and one winding way. 61. Oh, the mnemonic wall. So it's in parentheses here. Would I rather have a Pulse Marasa or mnemonic wall? They are a deck that has Red Blast in it. And they're a deck that has a lot of reach. So I don't hate the Pulse Marasa, but it might not be better. I'm not an expert here. I'll try it out. And they boarded up to 62. Kind of wild. No mana, no keeps. Mulligan. Sure. Keep this. Bottom the stampede. I think I'm actually going to get rid of the forest. I mean, we have Quirion Ranger. We can do some stuff. They play a bridge. Another Caretaker. We'll start off on Caretaker. And pass the turn. Instead of the Jasper Sentinels, if there were like more Caretaker effects we could play, I'd love it. Alright, so they played 2 artifacts we can kill with Gorilla Shaman. We did not rip the land that I wanted. So now we can tap for red. Play Gorilla Shaman. Maybe I'm supposed to untap this first. They have a blue blast. Interesting. Untap. Return the forest. Replay. Play another Caretaker. Pass the turn. I guess the blue blast does counter the Flamewood Invoker, and it can potentially kill a Tuk Rumble Fort. They have 4 in hand. Let's Winding Way. We'll say creature. Brutal. These Winding Ways have not been good for me. Untap, return. Pass. They use the blood token to get rid of a Vault of Whispers. Thoughtcast, they're up to 6 cards in hand. They're passing. They missed a land drop, so I think what I'm supposed to try to do here is to Glamour the red source. Metallic Rebuke. I cannot pay. Untap, return the forest. Replay. We have to pass. Ooh, that hurts. Secret Door. Green. Blue. Let's untap this. 3 mana. I guess I can play this. It's kind of free to do so. They're thinking about my Secret Door here. And another Metallic Rebuke. Good deal. I'm not going to pay for Secret. And then we will lead the Stampede. I pass the turn. They play the Artificer. Interesting. They can go to combat now and attack with the Karkland Shaman. Ouch. 19 life. We draw. The Rumble Fort. Cancel. Let's tap for green. Tap. If I played a Guardian here, it doesn't actually help me. I'm at a Rumble Fort. I can't then play Guardian. I think I'm supposed to just play this out. Pass the turn. If they want to sacrifice their board, I think we accept it. They just have the Galvanic Blast. Okay, they play a Gixian Infiltrator. We're starting to look like we're in trouble here. Play the Battlement. Untap. Forest. Make a white. Play the Acolyte. Pass the turn. They play Spire Bluff Bridge. Or Silver Bluff Bridge. Alright, so they're going to combat. Let's see what they do. No blocks. And it looks like they're passing the turn. Lead the Stampede. Tap for 3 green. Make a red. Let's play a Rumble Fort. Let's float a green. Untap the Battlement. Replay. Axebane Guardian. I have 5 defenders. Alright, so I'm going to float a couple white for this Acolyte. Let's tap this, actually, and now I'll play this. The Alchemist. Soulbound triggers. Okay, so now I have infinite mana. It's protected by Acolyte. Sweet. Make more mana. Let's do a couple white this time. couple green, and a blue. Untap. I just want to make sure that my team is protected if our opponent tries anything crazy. Okay. Tap. Let's lead the Stampede. Sure thing. We'll make more mana. Play a Sentinel. And another Axebane Guardian. Tap the wall. Make a bunch of green. Some blue. Show them Drift of Phantasms. We'll grab the Invoker. Untap. Right now we're making 6 and it costs 3 to untap, so we're netting 3 per action. I'm gonna transmute. We have 7 minutes. I'm gonna grab her freed from the real, put it on the other Axebane. Just faster. Alright, I'm gonna be quiet and just make a bunch of mana now. Our opponent's going to attempt to cast this bargain. I'm just going to keep on making mana in the meantime. Alright, so we're going to let the Reckoner's Bargain resolve. And now this will untap. They're at 23. I will play the Invoker, and we can start to win the game. 5 minutes on clock. I just don't know what it is with people in Pauper. They're like, yeah, I'll spend 8 hours watching you go infinite rather than just like conceding and going to the next. Oh well. I will not time out. We're going to get a W. Crimson Acolyte did look pretty good here, for what it's worth. I was very skeptical, but it was solid. They're at 8. They're at 5 now. Again, we'll use up some of this black mana. They're at 2, and once again, Flamewood Invoker. Click, click, boom. 2 and 1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round 4, we're on the draw. Keep. Ash Barrens, and pass the turn. Cool. Forest into the Caretaker. They will cycle another Ash Barrens. I did not see this coming, completely oblivious. They grab a basic Plains. They pass another Overgrown Battlement. That's not awful, but we just have to find a payoff now. Tap for another green. Play the Leaf Caller. Raven Inspector. Draw for turn. That's decent. So it makes our Overgrown Battlement makes 2. This will make it make 3. Play the Forest. So let's convert one of these to a red. Cancel. Convert one to a red. Now we'll play the Rumble Fort, which makes this active for 4. We can play an Overgrown Battlement. This has for... Hold on, do I want to tap that? Tap this for 3. Tap this in the Leaf Caller. Because now we can play the Sentinel. This triggers. Yes. So, I think I want to get Drift of Phantasm. Pretty sure that's accurate. Now we have 6 mana. Okay. We'll transmute. I'm going to grab Lead the Stampede. I could get another wall here, or another Drift, but if I do have to draw a spell next turn in order for it to be alive. So instead I'm going to lead, and this will be a win next turn. Okay, pass. Once again, look how much better our draws are when we have Tuk Tuk Rumble Fort. I just can't believe that this card is only a 1-of. Journey to Nowhere, and they take away the Rumble Fort. I'm not surprised. This card is bananas. Why are we only playing 1? Okay, 5 mana. Play the Battlement so that way our others tap for more mana. Look at all this. So much mana. Love to see it. Alchemist. Soul Bond trigger. We'll Soul Bond with this. Let's make some blue. Okay, making a bunch of blue mana. Untap. So now we have infinite mana. Okay. Make a red. Show them the Invoker. Maybe they'll be nice and looks like the answer is no, they will not. Okay. Oh, they did. Thank you, opponent. Finally, somebody's a nice person. All right. I guess our round 1 was a nice too. So our opponent's either on Boros or Mono White. I'm not really sure what the plan is here. It says Boros variant, so we should probably do that. Shield Wall, both Wall of Roots, Mnemonic Wall, and a Rift Sower. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Okay, get rid of the Wall of Roots. Mnemonic Wall. Okay, and then we're bringing in both Acolytes. Okay. One to Glamour. I don't love that one. 2 Moments Piece. A Pulse of Marasa and a Ray of Revelation. I can see the Ray because it hits through into the whatever it's called. But I don't know if I actually agree with the rest of this board plan. I think I'd rather have my deck be a little bit more combo-y. I think like going over Boros is what you normally want to do. I don't really like Vivian's Grizzly. I'm going to board this out. I am sorry that I'm not following the sideboard guide, but I'm going to do things my way. Wall of Roots coming back in. Let's board out 1 Sentinel. I really value having creatures with Defender in our deck because they make our combo turns more effective. Unfortunately, this hand stinks. I think I actually would have kept this if this were a forest. Mulligan. This is a tough one. Going to bottom the Ray of Revelation and try it out. They play at Craig. We will play Forest. Pass the turn. Basic Mountain. Seeker of the Way. Overgrown Battlement. Pass the turn. Basic Mountain. 3 mana. Oblivion Ring. And here I am getting rid of my Ray of Revelation like a real dummy. Okay. They have 3 cards in hand. Play an Axebane Guardian. Pass the turn. Faithless Looting. Okay. They discard 2 lands, 3 still in hand. They tap for 2 mana Squadron Hawk. So it looks like I'm going to be allowed to untap with Axebane Guardian. Tormod's Crypt. Thing. So their hand is 3 Squadron Hawks and a land that they just returned with Boros Garrison. We'll take 4 down to 13, take a draw. Drift of Phantasms is very good there. Okay. So now we tap for 3 blue. And we will go get freed from the reel. Pass. They will flashback Faithless Looting. Not surprised by this. Land Squadron Hawk. So they're going to get in for 4. We'll go to 9. Take a draw. Pulse of Marasa. Winding Way. We will select creature. Play another Caretaker. Green. Brain Ranger. Do we think that they drew into removal, I guess, is the question. We know that they have 2 Squadron Hawks and 2 Unknowns in hand. Play a Shield Wall Sentinel. Triggers. Yes. I'm going to grab a Drift, I think. Let's attempt to untap the Axebane. They allowed that to happen. Tap for a bunch of mana. Am I allowed to freed from the reel? Okay, so it looks like we're allowed to have infinite mana. Yes! Alright, 3-1. Let's just get round number 5 and keep my promise that I said after match number 1. I believe in us. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The 5th and final match, we are facing Top Grinder. Yeah, this hand seems reasonable. Keep. Basic Forest, and we will play the Caretaker. Pass the turn. The Silver Bluff Bridge. Overgrown Battlement. That is a decent Magic card. Let's put that onto the table. Tap for green. Let's play the Syrian Ranger. Pass the turn. Chromatic Star and a bridge. Sure thing. So we get to untap with the Battlement. This card that stinks. Winding Way. Creature. We find a solo Axebane Guardian. Tap for 2. Untap. replay it. 3 mana. Axebane Guardian. 3 mana. Play the Rift Sower. Green. Tap. Play the Sentinel. Get in for 1. I'm an aggro deck. Rawr. The opponent has land 3. Yikes. That is terrifying. Actually, just terrifying. Okay, let's play a Wall of Roots. Tap for a bunch of mana. Vivian's Grizzly. Okay, let's make the mana. Activate the Grizzly. Demonic Wall. Untap. They could sack their board here. They chose not to. Tap again. 3 blue. Demonic Wall. Triggers. Return. Lead the Stampede. Yes. Okay, green. Lead the Stampede. Okay. Pretty sure we're just supposed to pass here. Or I can attack for 2. Get in there. They play a land in Dimir Enforcer. So I don't think they're going to sack their board to the Kark Clan Shaman anymore. Ooh, they are. Interesting. They wanted to keep a land then? Let's untap the Axebane Guardian. Make some mana here. Whoops, I meant to activate this, but that's fine. I have no other responses. We got to keep our Wall of Roots. And they got to keep 2 lands. I guess for what we're doing right now, it's probably better if I don't play Axebane this turn and just try to maximize getting creatures in play. They have another land. Ichor Wellspring. Axebane Guardian. Tap for 3. Play a Kyrian Ranger. Make a red. Play the Invoker. Pass the turn. I'm hellbent. Opponent plays land number 4 into Gear Seeker Serpent. They've been holding open a red every turn, so I believe that they have a what is it called? A Galvanic Blast. Untap the Axebane. Okay. We have 16 mana. We will shoot their Gear Seeker. Reckoner's Bargain, you got it. Hiya, get in. Another Ichor Wellspring. They're at 6 cards in hand. They kill my Invoker. Not terribly surprised by that. And now we draw Freed from the Real. There's almost no point in me playing that right now. Play the Rumble Fort. Attack. Our opponent just holding open removal. Get in. Deadly Dispute. Yep. Another Deadly Dispute. This brings them up to 9. The odds that they don't have a second removal spell now are so slim. Chromatic Star. They sacrificed the Chromatic Star, so they've drawn 7 cards this turn, 8 with their draw step. Okay, attack. Thoughtcast. Makeshift Munitions. I am not beating that card. I'll go to the next one. We're just not going to be able to beat Munitions, unfortunately. Alright, so Affinity, we wanted Acolyte, we wanted the Guerrilla Shamans, we wanted the Glamour, and then the Pulsar Marasa. Let me bring that sideboard guide back up. 1 Leaf Caller, 1 Shield Sentinel, 2 Wall of Roots, Mnemonic Wall, the Sentinel, lead the Stampede and Winding Way. Hit submit. Try this again. I feel like this hand is a trap. Mulligan. Keep, and I think we're supposed to keep bottom Reaping the Graves. Play the land pass. They play a bridge. We're going to deglamour that. Back in your deck. They play another bridge. But we're going to Battlement. We're going to Winding Way instead of playing that. There we go. That was pretty good. Bridge. Battlement. We're on Battlement. Pass. We're trying to achieve the mana. Vault of Whispers. Thoughtcast. Prairion. Sure. Draw. Play an Axebane Guardian. Tap it for a green. Play a Caretaker, so now these tap for 5. Winding Way, Creature, find Gorilla Shaman, Winding Way, Creature. Okay. 6 green. Play an Axebane Guardian, I guess. We're gonna get wrecked if they have the Kirkland Shaman in to sacrifice my entire board. But if they don't, we definitely win the game. So I'm taking the risk here. Vault of Whispers. There it is. Unfortunate. Yeah, I knew that was something that could happen. Typically, Affinity only plays 2, sometimes 3 Kirkland Shamans. So, I don't know. Perhaps my play was a little reckless deciding to play those out. I just felt like the upside was so high. They have 8 cards in hand. We'll draw, freed from the real. Pass. Yeah, I probably should have held them. That was just greedy. Blood Fountain. And a land. Thought cast. This deck is just so good. Can't cast anything. Kind of my own fault. Definitely my own fault. Vicar Wellspring. I guess we'll play Ranger. Pass the turn. Here Enforcer. Yeah, I punted. Another Kirkland Shaman. Alright, I'm gonna call it. So I feel like this last match I did not play that well, and that's my own fault. I really like this deck, and I genuinely mean that. I'm going to record with it again in the future, probably with some of my own changes. I want double Rumble 4. I want to get rid of the Rift Sower, and I'm not a big fan of the Grizzly, but I think this deck is really great. I'm also, we had a mulligan because of the Survivor's Encampment. This might just, maybe it should be a 14th Forest. I'm not going to die on any hills, but that would have been a keep if this were a forest. And every other time we only saw that one time, I believe, but like it never seemed like we actually needed colored mana by tapping, except for the game where I misplayed. So maybe it should just be 14 Forest, but this deck is really sweet. Thank you to APAS for the deck list, but also the sideboard guide. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, and why not? Let's open up the pity chest. We opened up a Char, Ravnica All-Star, and a Silumgar. I played this thing in Standard, so they're kind of cool. Alright, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Keep storming / comboing with walls, whatever you gotta do. See ya. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.